Silver's going to be on the internet soon. Is your hair all set? Ready to start? Okay, the first of our Torah, Parshas Hashem Yisbarach, is as follows. It says in the Torah, in the beginning of the Parsha, as an introduction to the Parah Aduma, the red heifer, it says, Zos Chukas HaTorah. This, the following, is the laws of the Torah, and then it goes ahead and it tells you the halachas of the laws of the Parah Aduma, the red heifer. All the commentators all ask the following question. Zos Chukas HaTorah? It should say Zos Chukas HaPorah. These are the laws of the Parah Aduma. Zos Chukas HaTorah might be in the beginning. I mean, the beginning is the story. In Parshas Bo, when it discusses the first mitzvah, it should say Zos Chukas HaTorah. These are the laws of the Torah. It waits till Hefer Midbar, halfway through, and the introduction to Parah Aduma, it says Zos Chukas HaTorah. It should say Zos Chukas HaPorah. All the commentators ask this question. Anybody quickly want to say an answer before we go on, or?
I guess like you can say these are the ways of the Torah to have mitzvahs that don't make sense.
Don't make sense is a strong lashon. Mitzvahs that we don't understand, that we have contradictions in it. Okay, so we're going to...
It's the onset question. Why do we have a mitzvah that we don't understand? Because these are those school customs.
Very good. So we're going to say like that in a second. Very good. Very good.
Just a question for you.
Yeah.
When it says chukas, that's plural, right? So it's just... Why does it refer... Is it just the parah it's talking about, or are there other
chukas? I don't think it's plural. I think it's singular.
Okay.
You're right. Chok is singular, but chukas means the chok of.
I see. Okay.
The chok of.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. Chok would be singular. Chukas doesn't mean it's not plural. It's the law of. Okay. Very good. So we're going to say similar to what Mr. Landesman said. So that's the question. Why says Zos Chukas HaTorah? Should say Zos Chukas HaPorah. So Moshe Feinstein. Now this question was already much before him. But he has a very nice piece on this. That's what he says. And just to add to the question, you don't need it, but to make it more interesting, he says that there's another time in the Torah, in fact I mentioned it earlier, when it talks about one specific mitzvah, and it says, Zos Chukas HaPesach, the laws of the Korban Pesach. It doesn't say Zos Chukas HaTorah, and then say the laws of the Korban Pesach. It introduces the specific mitzvah by saying, this is the law of the Korban Pesach. So I'm just showing that in the Torah itself, very good, Shmuel, when it discusses a mitzvah, it usually would say, this is the law of that mitzvah, and then go ahead and say the laws of that mitzvah. So I'm showing you to build to the question, to bring a proof to the question, that that's what the Torah does. Because you might think, I know Lennison's thinking that, well, maybe that's the Torah of the Torah. Maybe the Torah does that. It wants to be dramatic. God was the first drama king, maybe, right? The first Paul Newman. No, the Torah is not dramatic. Because that's why I brought in this case. When it comes to the laws of Pesach, it says, these are the laws of Pesach. So when the Torah wants to refer to a certain mitzvah, it will say, this is the law of the mitzvah. Okay. So it says in Moshe Feinstein, a beautiful idea. Shehu lahoro is to teach us, shekol haTorah hu b'derech zeh parah. The whole Torah is with this mahanach, with this derech, with this outlook of the Parah Aduma. Now we know one of the very fascinating laws of the Parah Aduma is that the one who sprinkled the Parah Aduma became tameh, impure, and then he needed somebody else to make him purified. But the person who is sprinkled on becomes pure, tahar. That's a very fascinating idea. So what's the lesson of that? The lesson is that each midah in the Torah, each attribute, can be used for good, or heaven forbid, for bad. And a person at all times has to think about each midah and figure out, what should I be doing at this time? For example, we know that there's a great level of being a onof, being a humble person. And usually we would say, being a Baal Gaiva, a haughty person would be good or no good. And what do you think? That'd be bad, right? Very good. Says Moshe Feinstein, not necessarily. I'll give you an example about how Gaiva, haughtiness, can be used for good, and the opposite. Okay. For example, when it comes to the honor of one's friend, should you say, no, you're supposed to be humble, not supposed to want things. Maybe I shouldn't give him stuff. It's not good for him. He should be a honor. No. When it comes to yourself, then you be honored, then you be humble. When it comes to your friend, you're not supposed to be honored. You're supposed to be quote unquote gaivadik. Hardy, meaning give cover, give honor to your friend. For yourself, anivas. For your friend, covered. So this is the exact opposite of how you're supposed to treat yourself, how you're supposed to treat others.
So, quick question for you.
Yeah.
So, I'm a Kohen, for instance.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel like, despite the fact that you want to be a humble person, it's the same thing like with being a Jew, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as Jews, if we're too humble, if we get pushed around, then, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is being, he's being pushed around too.
Right. So that's true. Now, you're not supposed to be a pushover. You're supposed to be makbid, careful on your kavod, but realize it's not your own kavod, not your personal. It's the Jewish people, the kahuna, the priesthood, if you're a Talmid Chacham, your status. But it's not a personal thing. It's what you represent. Okay. Now, so a person is supposed to have, both concepts, depending on who you're talking about, for yourself or for others. Now, how about giving money? Should you be stingy, or should you be the person that gives away a lot of money? Very simple.
20% max.
Okay. Where's max? So, very simple. It says in Moshe Feinstein, it depends on what you're talking about and who you're talking about. When it comes to yourself, then you can give away tzedakah, 20%. Give away, right? When it comes to somebody else's money, then you can't be a firm on somebody else's cheshbon. Can't be religious in somebody else's calculation. Then you're supposed to be cheap. Every penny counts when it comes to somebody else's money. When it comes to your own money, then you can have the midah, then you can have the attribute of being a person that gives away more than he wants to, more than he needs to. But for your others, then you have to treat each penny very carefully. And that's the explanation of what the Gemara means. The Gemara says that it's supposed to serve Hashem. We say in the Shema, "V'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, v'chol levavecha b'shnei yitzrecha," with both the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. How do you serve Hashem with the Yetzer Hara? Anybody?
You try to fight the Yetzer Hara, so you serve Hashem.
That's the simple shot. The Gemara argues with you. And the Gemara says, B'shnei Yitzrecha. You're supposed to serve Hashem, love Hashem, B'shnei Yitzrecha, with the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. The fact that that's such a good question is why you're having trouble believing me. That's what the Gemara says. Exactly. But that is what the Gemara says, and we're going to explain it. But that is the interesting mahalach. That when you hear something which sounds so strange, it must not be true. It is true. That's not up for discussion, as we had the other day. That's not up for discussion. That's a fact. Now we're here to explain it. What does it mean? Okay, it looks like Shlomo has a pshat. Or no? Okay. So there are a couple of pshatim. Right now, Moshe Feinstein says a beautiful pshat. The Yetzer Hara, Gaiva, is a bad midah. It's the Yetzer Hara. How do you serve Hashem with the Yetzer Hara, with Gaiva? Use it for the good. For giving the other person. You know what? He deserves kavod. I'm going to give him kavod. For yourself, anivas. But for others, okay. Every midah is supposed to, you can serve it for Hashem, I serve it for the opposite. B'yetzer tov, b'yetzer hara. So that's Rav Moshe Feinstein's Hamaletical pshat, beautiful pshat, and this idea. Why it says those Chukas HaTorah, Chukas HaPorah, when we're really only discussing the laws of the Parah Tumah, it's to show us this lesson. That the whole Torah is like this. The whole Torah has contradictions in it. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. We're in a call, so I'm going to make this PG. You're a B if you do, and you're blank if you don't. Another one of these, okay, not the worst word, but whatever, right?
So quick question for you.
Oh yeah, if you don't mind, I'll finish up the idea, then we'll take questions. So that's what you have both ideas. In every mitzvah, you have both ideas. Okay, so very good. So that's why it says that. To teach us this idea of the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara.
Because up until now, the standard measurement.
Stay tuned for more explanations. Because one of our Talmidim here, Max, the Rebbe Meilich, is the big chassid of the Rebbe of Heschel. I don't think you ever heard of the Rebbe of Heschel until he started coming to this year, right, Max? But now you became the chassid of the Rebbe of Heschel. And he tells us as follows. It's very fascinating. We know that there are a lot of mitzvahs in the Torah that are chukim. We don't understand the reason. I mean, for God's sake, why can't you wear wool and linen together in the same article of clothing? I don't understand it, Okay. That's one example. There are lots of other examples. Some of the laws of kashrus seem to be strange. So they're called chukim. If you want to know what the quintessential chok is, it's Parah Adumah. Shlomo Melech says, "Amalti akama v'hiru chokim imeni." Shlomo Melech says that he understands every mitzvah in the Torah except for Parah Adumah. That's the quintessential chok. The Torah says, "Zod chukas haTorah," as an introduction to the Parah Adumah. In the last year, we said a nice pshat from Moshe Feinstein that's why the Torah said chukas haTorah instead of chukas haParah. That was last year. But for right now, what we want to understand is why the Parah Adumah is considered the quintessential chok. There are other chokim in the Torah. So I'll tell you now a homiletical pshat from the Chanukah Sater. Does anybody here know if there are any midrashim that explain what the Parah Adumah comes to be mechaper for, to atone for? Anybody know? For what? That's where it works to be metame you from. But the halachas of Parah Adumah, the fact that there's a law of Parah Adumah, what avera does it come to be mechaper for? The egel azov, the golden calf. The egel is a child. So when the child makes a mess in the king's palace, who cleans up the mess? The mother. I can tell you live in Miami Beach, right? For the average person doesn't have servants.
To the palace. So your house.
Very good, very good. Well, no, the palace. I mean, you're visiting the palace. You don't live there. You're a low Torah teacher. You don't make any money. You don't have any. I'm not low, but it's the highest profession. But you don't make too much money. You don't have any servants. So the Medrash says, "Tova ha'em," let the mom come and clean up the mess that the kid made in the palace. Good. So the egel is what? Is the kid. So the mother, the Parah Adumah, the cow is the mother of the, like I said before, feminine of the kid, comes and cleans up the mess. The egel azov is mechaper, atones for the sin of the egel azov.
Didn't Moshe take care of the egel hazav through grinding it up and putting it in the water and having people drink it and Shevet Levi killing everyone?
Yeah, what are you saying?
So wasn't this for Tumas Mace?
Tumas Mace is again, it's like Shlomo said, is what it comes to be metaher. That when a person is tameh, you sprinkle the Parah Adumah on the person. That's what it comes to take care of. What tumor, what impurity it takes care of. The question is, the mitzvah Parah Adumah, what avera in general did this mitzvah come to be mechaper for, to atone for? What avera in history? The answer to that is the avera of the egel azov. Okay? Now, the problem is that chronologically it doesn't make any sense. Because the mitzvah Parah Adumah was given where?
At Har Sinai?
In Morah. Jewish people were in the land of Morah, and certain mitzvahs were given. Yeah. Parshas Beshalach. Says in the Torah that certain mitzvahs were given over there. Some lo chol mishpat, v'sham nisahu. So the problem is that the mitzvah Parah Adumah was given in the city of Morah. So how can it come to be a kapara for the egel azov, for the golden calf, when the golden calf didn't exist yet?
Before the Makkah.
Okay, very nice. That's not the answer, because again, that would be a 5-second share. So we're gonna wait. Yeah, I like to have new guys. They don't know the old jokes. Yeah, I can say the same old jokes again because I got a new audience. Okay, very good. So you hear the question? Says the Rebbe of Heschel, interesting shot. This is such a cute shot. If Chazal give a mitzvah, a chok, and you don't understand it, that's a chok. Fine. The Rebbe of Heschel says a beautiful shot. Why is Parah Aduma the quintessential chok? Because the Mefarshim, the Chazal, give a reason. What was the reason? That the Egel Zav was Navera, was the kid. The mother, the Parah Aduma, comes to be Mechaper for the Egel Zav. But like Shlomo said, the reason, part of my expression, doesn't make any sense. Because chronologically, it doesn't make any sense. If the mitzvah was given before the Avera that's coming to be Mechaper for. If the Avera didn't exist yet.
Yeah, but wait.
Let me finish, if you don't mind. So chronologically, historically, it doesn't make any sense. Says the Rebbe of Heschel, interesting shot. That's why it's the quintessential chok. If the Torah gives a mitzvah, doesn't give a reason. Shotness. No reason is given. Does not give a reason. Torah doesn't give a reason. The Mefarshim don't really give a reason. That's a mitzvah. So that's a chok. Why is Parah Aduma the quintessential chok? Because a reason is given. If you give a reason and we have a kasha on the reason, or if it doesn't make any sense, there's a pilcha on the reason. It's abgeschlagt, as they would say in the yeshiva world, I think. There's a pilcha on the reason. The reason doesn't make any sense. That's a quintessential chok. If you just give a chok, fine. We give a chok, we don't know the reason. If you give a reason and the reason Guva doesn't make any sense, that's the quintessential chok. Now I'll take questions.